For those who could relate to forgot how they put it, hyper responsibility, where you take too much responsibility for others' actions, emotions, etc. Things that it's really theirs to be taking responsibility over, but you take it on. That can lead to what's called a fixer role. I'm speaking to myself in this video too, by the way. That leads to what's called a fixer syndrome. Okay? And fixer syndrome is when you basically spend time trying to fix other people's problems. You're always trying to fix or save other people from their problems, or solve their problems. And that's usually a trauma response, a complex trauma response. It stems from the belief that you are only safe or loved if you are fixing things. So for me, that shows up because, again, my dad was very absent. As for my mom, she was physically there, but she was not emotionally there. Okay? So she was physically there, she was not emotionally there. So I wasn't able to develop a she loves me for me. It was more like, here's how I'm going to explain this. She was physically there and she did the public things, okay? The birthday parties, the this, the that. But what are you talking about? I took you to Disney. Like, she did all of that, okay? But she didn't do the emotional connecting part with me. Like, never came into my room just because. And like, just want to hang out with me or talk to me or whatever. That was not the case. The only time that she ever did that was when I had my first heartbreak with a boyfriend I had in middle school that I lost my virginity to. Okay? I was crying so much that she put whoever she's on the phone with on hold. Didn't even like hang up, let me call you back, I'm gonna be there for her. But okay. Either way, she was on the phone with somebody. She put them on hold and then came into the room and hugged me for like 5 minutes. That was the only moment that she's ever done that. And then she went right back to talking to whoever she's talking to on the phone. Outside of that, there was never a moment where she just came into my room and said, you know what, I want to kick it with you. Or like, I want to talk to you and I'm curious about you and I love you. It never sent like this message of I love you for who you are and you are good enough as you are. I started getting a little more attention from her in that way, from clean, like when I would just clean, because I like to clean. And I just started cleaning around the house. And that's where she was like, I started getting the comments of like, oh, look at Elisa. Like, damn, she really knows how to do this. Like, and to hear that praise was more like how I got my love from her. So I kept doing it. But the other part of me was still starving for a real connection, one that's not based off of that doesn't stem from me having to do something for it. So the dangling carrot. And so I want to say more into my 30s I started to, because my very, very early 20s, I was still raging and being very like, why me? But not just because of her, but everything. Because there's a lot of shit that happened in my childhood. And I was very like, why me? What the fuck is this? There was a lot of anger. So, I got away from that towards the mid-20s. But definitely, like, I started really seeing how things are created from within and this and that more in my mid-20s. And then 30s is when I want to say late 20s, early 30s, I really started to dive into my healing deep. And what I started to really do from there is almost like overcompensate responsibility. Like, I took on too much responsibility for things that were not mine to carry in the first place. Kind of like I was saying in the previous video. And I think the first few times I heard that I'm doing that is 2018, where we opened our first company, and we had an IT guy, because we work off computers. We had a personal IT guy, and he was like hearing my stories, and he's like, you know what, like, good for you that you finally, you know, a lot of people don't reach the point that you reached of taking full accountability for things. However, you're taking too much responsibility. Like, you're carrying things that are not yours, that are not in your control. And he's like, you're carrying bags and shit that, like, you don't need to be carrying. Like, it's okay to let that go, because that's not yours to carry or fix. He goes, all this shit you mentioned here, yes, that's all you. But all the shit that you're mentioning here that you're carrying is not yours. And it's like you're trying to find a way to make it yours. And part of it is the trauma response, but part of it was also that if it's in my control, I mean, that if I'm accountable for it, I can control it. Because that part is true. Whatever I am accountable for is within my control to change. But I was trying to apply it to things that are not in my control, and they're not my responsibility. They're other people's shit. Fast forward years later, because I did this behavior with my mom throughout all these years in my 30s. Whatever I saw she was not taking responsibility for, which is pretty much anything. I've tried to have deep conversations with her, and it's very tooth and nail to get any sort of apology from her. And then whenever it actually did happen and she would say, I'm sorry, she would immediately follow it up, but I tried my best, or but I didn't know. That's not a real apology. You're still scapegoating the accountability. So essentially, she never took responsibility for anything that she did, and the impact that it had on me. So I saw, okay, this is not going to happen. So in order for me to stay connected, I basically tried to put it on me, which was not the right thing to do, by the way. Don't ever do that. If you are doing that, don't do that. And fast forward to a year ago, I started therapy. And it's like she immediately picked up on that. And it's true. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. But not only that, realize that you don't need, and I'm speaking to me too, especially me, you don't need to be fixing something to be worthy of love or safety. You don't. You existing, period, as you are. The fact that you exist, you are worthy, you are lovable, you are loved, and it shouldn't require anything else, because it doesn't. You are good enough as you are. And although I'm speaking to myself with this too, I'm also speaking to anybody who could relate. We're in the same boat. And I've started working on boundaries a few months ago. It's why certain relationships, including hers, fell off. Because I was not willing to take it on the chin again with the manipulation and the belittling and the lying and the disrespect and the threats. So I basically exercised what I've been working on, which are my boundaries and my self-respect and choosing myself, because I don't need to take that on the chin to be lovable. No, absolutely not. And that's why now that relationship today does not exist anymore. And so this video is not to villainize her. I don't know if you guys ever, if you haven't read this book that's called What Happened to You, I recommend it. Because it helps to cultivate understanding and compassion towards those who are stuck in their own cycles, like her. And compassion does not mean excusing the behavior, and compassion does not mean access. There's a big difference. Don't confuse the two. They are not the same thing. You can have compassion. I have compassion for her. I understand that there are things that may have happened to her that were really, really bad. Maybe even so bad that she couldn't even remember it, because I've questioned this with her. I've had private conversations where I tried to help her get to the bottom of it, and she doesn't seem to remember it. It could have been that bad that the brain basically hid it away from her. I don't know. I don't know. But my whole thing is that although I have compassion for her, I do not excuse her behavior. It doesn't make it okay, and it doesn't make it tolerable. And that's not just for her, it's for anybody. Compassion, yes. Understanding, yes. Access, no. Excusing the behavior, no. Allowing it, no. And there is a difference. There is a difference. Just like there's a difference in what I'm responsible for and what I'm not. And what I started doing is basically offloading the bags. Real Erykah Badu moment, okay? If you know, you know. You know, bag lady. Bag lady. No, I don't want to be the bag lady no more. I don't want to carry everybody else's shit. I started putting these bags down and walking away. And simply saying, like, that ain't mine. I'm returning it to sender. Like, that's you. You know, just putting the bag down and just walking away. And not saving people face from their consequences. Whatever it is, it is. And all I could ever hope for is that they just learn from it. But even at this point, even hoping that they learn from it keeps me attached to it. So even then, I've let that go too. Like, whether you learn from it or not is just not my problem anymore. And that's part of putting the entire bag down, walking away and not looking back. Because if you're still hoping they learn from it so that they can grow and all this, you're still looking back at the bag. No. And it's not wishing bad. It's also not wishing good. It's not wishing anything at all, because then that's more of my energy source still going into that direction. No. Just simply redirecting my energy back towards me to fill my cup with everything that I need, including the loved as I am. And I'm so grateful, by the way, that I have people in my life that do love me just for existing. I'm so grateful for them. I can't even begin to tell you. And my fiance especially. because he sees how it plays out right in front of him. I live with him. And he's very like, you don't have to do this. Like, you don't have to. It's so healing to hear that. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do this. He's always like, you don't have to do this, sexy. We call each other sexy. But you don't have to do this. You can relax. You can do nothing. If you really want to do nothing and that makes you feel good, do nothing. That's going to be a whole separate conversation and video, but so healing. And among the other people that I have very close to me in my life that are the same way with me. Like, what are you talking about? You don't have to do that. Like, that's so healing to hear. That I don't have to overreach or do much at all to be loved and valued by them. My presence alone, the fact that I exist, is valuable to them. Those are my people. Those are genuinely my people. And I've, so far now, therapy's working. Because I have reached a point where I don't want any other type of relationship in my life. I don't want it. I don't want it. I want more of what I have now, which is the people who love me and value me. They see me, they hear me, they understand me. And I don't have to reach or run to a dangling carrot to hopefully get it. I already have it because I exist. Those are the relationships that are in the highest alignment with me. And those are the people that value me. Those are my people. And the more you get rid of the relationships that you do have to overextend to get crumbs, the more you make space for people to come into your life that align with you just as you are. And that's part of also the sweep that I've made in my life of relationships, where I've ended quite a few relationships, the most recent being my mom. No more dangling carrots. No more dangling carrots. I'm like, I know I'm continuing to grow, so it's going to expand. But even where I'm at now was not where I was a year ago. A year ago, I was willing to keep dealing with it, although it was fucking hurting me. And now, I'm hurt, but I'm hurt only because I'm healing from walking away from that finally. Because that hurts too. And, but that hurt cashes in eventually to a better. The hurt that I'm feeling now actually brings me closer and closer every day to a better path. One that I'm more whole and I'm more me and I'm loved as I am. Because I no longer have people in my life where I have to chase a false fantasy that it's just, I don't have that in my life anymore. I got rid of it. And it's helped me to see much clearer when it does happen. Like when it does try to, like if I spot it, I could spot it a lot quicker is what I'm trying to say. I can spot it like that because I know what it looks like. I lived it my whole life. I know what it is inside and out. Yeah. But yeah, this is for my fellow hyper accountable, hyper responsible people. Put the bag down. Put the bag down. It's so much lighter. I could breathe. When I put the bag down, I was like, wow, I was not expecting how much relief. I felt relief. Like relief. My soul felt relief. Put the bag down. And just trust. It will work out. Choose yourself.